This week on Cookbook Junction, we're cooking from one of the most cherished cookbooks of Black American culinary history. On our Instagram page, we asked if anyone knew what this dish was. So here's the answer. Deep Dish Peach Cobbler. Served from the Black Family Reunion Cookbook, a celebration of recipes and food memories from the National Council of Negro Women, also known as the NCNW. The Black Family Reunion Cookbook isn't just a recipe collection. It was born from a movement led by the NCNW, a powerhouse organization founded by educator Mary McLeod Bethune in 1935. In the 1980s, under the leadership of civil rights icon Dorothy Height, the NCNW launched the Black Family Reunion Celebrations, massive public gatherings that celebrated the strength of the Black family. These festivals drew thousands across the country, filled with music, family, and of course food. In 1991, they gathered those food memories and recipes into a cookbook that honored tradition, told stories, and passed flavor from one generation to the next. This peach cobbler? Well, it's one of those stories. Today's Deep Dish Peach Cobbler, contributed by a true culinary legend, Milton F. Williams, known across Hollywood as the King of Catering. For more than 40 years, Milton cooked for the rich, the powerful, and the famous, from actor Edward G. Robinson, Mitzi Gaynor, and museum founder Norton Simon. He was the kind of caterer whose phone number wasn't even listed, because if you knew, you already had it. He was the life of the party, but he never left the kitchen. Williams insisted on preparing food on the spot, not just to control the quality, but because, in his words, "I like to smell the food." Outside the kitchen, he was a philanthropist, a mentor, and a published author. His book, The Party Book, offered advice on elegant entertaining with joy and personality. And in his spare time, he taught young chefs how to see cooking as an art form. This cobbler recipe captures that same spirit, humble, honest, and full of heart. We're using canned peaches and syrup, brown sugar, spices, lemon juice, and a simple homemade pastry. First, we're going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees. We're going to make our dough with flour, salt, and we're going to put this in a large bowl, cut in cold butter until you get a coarse crumble mixture. Sprinkle in our ice-cold water until mixture comes together away from the bowl. You may need to add a little bit more water. Now, once you form a ball, according to Milton's recipe, it says to roll about 2/3 of the dough into about a 13-inch square on a lightly floured surface. Then we're going to roll out the remaining dough into about a 9-inch square. While I make the filling, I want the dough to be cold, so I'm putting mine back in the refrigerator until I'm ready to use it. Now, to make the peach filling, we need to drain the peaches and reserve about 1/2 cup of the syrup. We're going to mix our brown sugar, flour, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, a pinch of salt in a large bowl. Now we're going to add our peaches, the peach syrup, and lemon juice and mix well. We're going to take our dough out of the refrigerator and we're going to fit our large dough into an 8-inch square pan. Spoon the peaches into the pastry shell. Now we're going to cut about 8 strips and form a crisscross pattern on top of our peaches. Pinch the dough together at the edges to seal it. Now there's no mention of an egg wash on top in Milton's recipe, but I'm brushing on just a little to top of the pastry so it's golden brown. You can dot the peaches with a little butter before adding the strips on top or after. We're going to bake this for about 40 to 45 minutes or until it's golden and bubbly. Serve warm, maybe with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. This is more than dessert. It's a tribute to Milton F. Williams, a man who catered with soul, cooked with joy, and turned every meal into a memory. Follow Cookbook Junction on Instagram for more recipes, cookbook reveals, and vintage culinary stories each week. Next time, I'll feature another dessert that calls for a gelatin pineapple mixture and thin chocolate cookies from a cookbook that specializes in gelatin recipes. See you next time.